Hello and welcome to Season 7 of Inside Sports. I hope you had a fantastic summer. I spent mine listening almost exclusively to songs from the years 2000 to 2009, and that has fully inspired today's opening. So enjoy this trip down the pop charts memory lane relative to today's show. We've got What a Girl Wants, whether your name is Maria Maria, Ms. Jackson, Lady Marmalade, or Angel, it doesn't really matter because, hey there, Delilah, we've got everything you want. As for all you independent women, single ladies, and beautiful girls, don't get bent if I buy you a drink and call you bootylicious. Yeah, that would be foolish because I'm not a womanizer and big girls don't cry, girlfriend. So stand up, lean back, shake your tail feather, and lose yourself in a moment like this. I believe the temperature indicates it's getting hot in her, and it won't be falling once we get busy in the club. So the dilemma is, do we burn or drop it like it's hot? I got a feeling what goes around comes around, right round even. So if you're down, your irreplaceable soldier boy, AKA your glamorous baby boy, is riding in slow motion to answer 21 questions and give you all I have. So put down your Laffy Taffy, your lollipop, and your goodies from the candy shop and allow us to welcome you with arms wide open to the 2014 Inside Sports Fall Preview Show, which is always on time. With Coach Greg Hips Don't Lie Kellick, I'm Wes Lips of an Angel Decker. Have we gone too far already, Coach?
No, we're right on target. Everything is fine. We're ready to go.
You know, if you turn back the musical hands of time just a little bit more to 1988, there was a band called the Electric Boys who had a song called All Lips and Hips. Maybe that should be, you know, the way we sort of present ourselves here on the show today. You know, I've had all summer to come up with this stuff. Incidentally, I'm not sure that I recognize you without your loaf of honey wheat over there. What'd you do with that?
Well, that was put to good use. So we'll just put it that way and drop it at that point.
Okay, well, clearly you've been carb loading. I've got my B12 in me, and with good reason. It's a huge show today. 15 different county coaches actually agreed to talk to me, and some more willing than others. And the proof is coming up when we come back.
Behind every great child, there is a great foundation. Premier Martial Arts will empower your child and give them a premier foundation to success. Our instructors have the passion to teach classes designed to build premier skills. Your child will develop greater self-control, confidence, and concentration. Premier Martial Arts will take your child up the path of greatness. Call Premier Martial Arts today.
Mace Auto Body has been the collision expert since 1986. Over the years, vehicles and technology have changed, but their commitment to their customers has always remained the same. Mace utilizes the latest technology in finishing products and now has gone green by using EPA-approved Spies Hecker paints. Mace Auto Body is also a direct repair facility for most insurance companies and offers a lifetime warranty on all their work. You choose who repairs your vehicle, so call Mace Auto Body, the collision experts. Mace Auto Body, a family-owned and operated business since 1986, Route 64 and Bickle Road in Smithsburg.
Welcome back to the Inside Sports Fall Preview Show. We start by rolling out the football previews like no one else can. Let's run it. Beginning with the three, thank you, Britney Spears, second-year county head coaches and their respective teams, starting with Vince Ahern's Williamsport Wildcats. Williamsport finished with a 3-7 record in season number 1 under Ahern. And while the glass half full assessment reveals that 3, thanks again, Brittany, of those losses were by 6 points or fewer, the glass half empty analysis indicates most of the Wildcats football field forays resembled a video game with Williamsport and, you name the opponent, combining to average nearly 65 points per game. The bottom line in caveman speak, offense good, defense bad in 2013. But now it's 2014, and the acclimation grace period for new coach to new school and vice versa is over, and Ahern knows the team needs to respond boom, boom, pow right from the opening kickoff of game 1.
You know, hopefully we'll be able to jump out a little bit faster this year and kind of pick up where we left off. We got a lot of guys returning, so we're all excited about this new year.
Speaking of returners, you have a pretty good centerpiece there on your offense, and Savon Brown, a dual threat at quarterback. Talk about him and what you expect from him this season.
Well, it's not just Savon, but obviously the guys that he has around him as far as delivering the ball. You know, as a quarterback in our system, we rely on him heavily, not just, you know, as far as an athlete and what you see out on the field, but about reading defenses and kind of setting us up. So when the coach, kind of sets something up for him, we audible out of it, and then he has opportunity to kind of put us in a little bit different situation and a better position. He's got 3 great guys that he's able to work with, and that's Manny Morris. He's going to be moving around the offense a little bit this year, and Colby Byers, and then of course Jordan Stonebreaker, and Matt Malfers came on. He's a junior this year. Matt Malfers came on at the end of the season, did a great job at running back too. But none of that happens without those offensive linemen, and Travis Kendall and Brian Hout, 2 really big, great-sized guys and great kids. They will be kind of anchoring our offensive line.
Offense wasn't much of a problem last year in terms of scoring points, averaging almost 4 touchdowns per game, but defense and giving up points was a bit of a struggle. How do you attack that this year so that the defense is a little more stout?
We've changed the defense up a little bit this year. We were in a 33 or a 3-5 defense, and we're going to go to more of a 3-4 defense. We think it fits our personnel better, and then also gives us a little bit better of an opportunity to adjust to formations in a little bit easier way. Make it to where they're not thinking so much, and we're going to let them play. We always say, be careful, paralysis through analysis, and especially on defense, you have to be careful of that. So we want the guys to get out there and play this year.
What have you noticed from the standpoint of the football culture at Williamsport? I know, again, you are brand new here, but you've been around football for a long, long time on the high school level. Have you noticed a change from last season to this season?
I think we're hungry. I think the kids are hungry. I think our school population is hungry. Our administration is hungry. Our entire community is hungry. And this is an opportunity for us to do something special this year and to do something special for the community.
So the question is, how hungry is hungry enough to make a difference for a defense that was the worst in the county in points allowed by 9.2 per game a year ago? Now, Coach, there's more to playing on that side of the ball than just the X's and O's. So what does Coach Ahern and his staff have to tap into there?
Well, it all boils down to enthusiasm and selling what you're doing and getting kids to fill gaps and take their responsibility where they're supposed to go. A big play happens maybe when one person misses an assignment and that causes a run for 80 yards and a touchdown. All of a sudden, the momentum leaves you. So what he's got to do is he's got to make sure that everybody knows their role. He's got to make sure that everybody is where they're supposed to be. And then once they get there, they have to execute what they have to do. If they're all clicking on all the cylinders, so to speak, then that defense is going to be fine. And then the other end of it is, if he's got a good offense, then that keeps the defense off the field and the opponent doesn't have an opportunity to score. So, I'm sure he's going to work both ends, but defensively, you just got to be in the right place at the right time.
And the defense wants to minimize those big plays, is what you're saying, too, because they are killers. Williamsport gets the first 2 and 3 of its first 4 games at home this season. However, the Wildcats' opening day has been a bad day recently. They've lost their last 7 season openers and will try again Friday against Liberty, the school responsible for handing them defeats in each of the last 3. Now, defeat came few and far between at Hancock a year ago, enabling the Panthers to roar to the world, "Don't forget about us." The smallest public school in the state made some of the biggest noise on the gridiron under new head coach Todd Rupenthal, for which he deserved to take a bow. Hancock tied a school record with 9 wins, set a school mark, ringing up 382 points, and came within 60 seconds of winning a playoff game for the first time in school history. Makes me wonder what Coach Rupenthal can do for an encore in his second season with the Panthers, although he's not getting too carried away. He's just aiming to establish more of the same.
We want consistency. We don't want to drop off to 3-7, 2-8. We want consistency. We still want to win. And if everything works out right, we have the ability to get to that 9-1 with no injuries and everyone buying in and supporting each other.
What's the biggest lesson that you learned from last season as a head coach?
Staying patient. Staying patient. I mean, there was, even when you're winning, you need to stay patient. I mean, it goes into games. You need to stay patient, stick to your running game when you want to do it. You need to, when you have little issues, not make bigger issues out of them that they're not. Just stay patient with the kids. I mean, in that scene, if you're patient, they're patient and calm. So not to overplay everything.
What are you interested in finding out about this group this year? I mean, what are you most excited about?
Just what we can accomplish. I mean, it's any team you coach. I mean, what you have in your mind what you think you're capable of. I mean, I do, but I mean, and we talk about team goals, but just what each kid's capable of. We try to put them in the best position for our team. Now, some of these kids could be great running backs or great linemen, but in our situation, they might be asked to do something else. I mean, and whether they buy in and take the team approach. I mean, that's big for me and our staff.
I think one of the most impressive things last year when you look at the team, certainly the record, and you alluded to that, but, you know, the second highest scoring team in the county and the best defensive team from a scoring defense standpoint a year ago. What things can you do this year to stay at that level?
We need to be a well-conditioned team. That's what got us to all that stuff last year. I mean, we were strong in the second half of the year. If you look at many of our games, we were tighter at halftime, and we were able to open things up in the second half. We were catching our stride lots of times in the halfway through the fourth quarter. I mean, and defensively, being able to race around to the ball. I mean, we do condition a lot. With a small group, that's where we have an advantage because we get lots of reps in offensively, defensively, where we can devote a lot of time to conditioning. So you're not over killing anything.
And with you knowing that as the head coach, do you see that in the leadership of the seniors and the guys who were here last year? You know, I know it's still early, but in imparting that to the guys who are coming in as part of the varsity team this year?
Yeah, the kids that were part of last year, they all want to just get it and go. I mean, but we're trying to incorporate some new kids and everything. We really pace ourselves and try to get good at everything we want to be good at. I mean, and that's real important to us, which is running the ball and strong tackling.
Well, he's a football coach, so of course Rupenthal's perfected that poker face, but there is certainly every reason to be optimistic that this could be another historic season at Hancock. Now, Coach, he talked about the value of conditioning for his team and certainly saw that play out last year, and it was quantified. And when you think about conditioning, you certainly think about the physical side of it. But when you believe in the value of that conditioning, how much does that help you mentally as a team?
Well, when you get out on the field and you see what the coach has been saying is true, you're physically ready to go. The opponent isn't ready to go, and you know that's a big thing. And that's that mental part. And once you get that mental part on your side, once you believe, then it's pretty hard to stop that. You know, you believe in what you're going to do. So I think, you know, the physical is important. It's very, very important. But yes, you have to be mentally prepared. And again, that's, you know, taking on responsibilities, know where I'm supposed to go, do my assignment the way I'm supposed to do it, and be in the best shape that I can to perform that activity. So yeah, that's a very, very important part.
Yeah, and Hancock certainly has grown to believe after that sensational season a year ago. Incidentally, the Panthers held opponents to an average of just over 6 points per game in the second half of their games a year ago, a testament to that conditioning regimen. The Panthers start this season hosting Southern Garrett, a team that was 4-6 a year ago on Friday night. At St. James, the Saints staggered to the finish line with a 3-5 record in a trying inaugural season for head coach John Rutt. Trying was the key word for his team's 2013, trying to overcome injuries, trying to find a true quarterback, and trying to score enough points to compete with prolific Mid-Atlantic Conference offenses. So, Coach Rutt has decided to try to control what he can control by giving up some control. That's what he'll try.
I have probably, in my opinion, one of the best staffs around. They're excellent coaches. They're good with kids. They know X's and O's. And, you know, this will be the first year I actually have an offense coordinator and a defense coordinator. And, you know, that's kind of tough. And they'll be the first to tell you I haven't given it up totally because I'm in the huddle. I'm telling them what I want every play. But it's a good staff, and we work well together, and it works well.
Tell me a little bit about the team that you have this year.
We have some veterans back, but we also have a lot of young kids. You know, we have there's about 230 kids in the entire school, grade 8 through 12. So we don't have a huge population to pull from. We have some really nice young freshmen, some good quality seniors, and a couple of sophomores and juniors to fill in the cracks. So, you know, I'm happy with the team. It's, you know, I'd like to have some bigger linemen, but, you know, like any coach says, they all would tell you that. They like to have more numbers, but I'll take hard over size any day. And our linemen, and they have a lot of heart, so we're doing okay.
What do you feel like they can accomplish this year? What's the ceiling for this team, do you think?
You know, I'll be honest with you, I think the sky's the limit for him. We have, we're very well rounded. I mean, every coach talks about being balanced, but last year we knew we were kind of in a deficit with the fact that we were struggling at quarterback, and we had some kids that were team players and they filled in there when they really were not quarterbacks. And this year we have a quarterback that he's just a good ball player, real heads-up kid, and he can throw the ball well. And we have some quality running backs, some excellent receivers. Our line, most of the line is back. Again, they're not real big, but they're tough kids. So, I think our kids can take it as far as they want to go. I mean, we have a tough schedule: Potomac, Flint Hill. We've got Maryland School for the Deaf. I mean, you go right down our schedule. It's a tough schedule for a small school like St. James.
St. James came out on Saturday and scored the game's final 20 points, erasing a 17-14 deficit to defeat Mount Carmel 34-17. Led by freshman quarterback Tyler Raymond, who threw for 259 yards and touchdowns to 3 different receivers. Now, the Saints scored 30 points in a game just once all of last season, and remarkably, they're 1 for 1 this year on the arm and through the poise of a 14-year-old. Are you impressed by this, or do we need to see more to evaluate it? And how does Coach Rutt kind of cultivate a freshman quarterback who's just thrown right into the fire, but looks like, hey, he didn't even blink?
Well, I think as a coach, you got to be satisfied with who you're starting at the quarterback, and obviously he was very pleased with what he had seen in the practices leading up to that. So you have that confidence within the player, and you have to sell the fact that you have that confidence in him. And if the quarterback, it doesn't matter what the age is, but if the quarterback knows that my coach believes in what I'm doing and he's trusting me with the offense, he's letting me do the things that I need to do with my skills, then I'm going to do it. And I know that he's got my back, so to speak, and that's good. I can go out and I can play.
Well, St. James and Tyler football go for a 2-0 start to the season Friday night at Clear Spring. When we come back, Washington County's 2 newest head coaches discover they've really made it. Their first Inside Sports FaceTime is just ahead.
Since 1963, you've been trusting the folks at Hagerstown Floors. It's still a family-owned and operated business featuring a variety of high-quality flooring choices for your home, like carpet, ceramic, hardwood, vinyl, and we offer floor sanding and refinishing for your existing hardwoods. And you'll find us stocked warehouse, full of flooring options for do-it-yourselfers, or take advantage of our in-house installers for expert installation. Hagerstown Floors on Virginia Avenue in Hagerstown, the trusted name in flooring since 1963.
Ladies, we all want to look good, but we'd rather not pay an arm and a leg either, am I right? Then here's a place just for you. 2nd Avenue Consignment and Boutique. If you're looking for upscale designer clothing, then they've got what you want. Throw in some incredible shoes, jewelry, and purses along with that outfit too. Guys, they've got you covered as well, with Harley-Davidson clothing and a new section coming just for you. There's even prom dresses from major designers too. Get that designer look without designer prices. 2nd Avenue Consignment and Boutique, behind Western Sizzlin on Halfway Boulevard.
Welcome back to the Inside Sports Fall Preview Edition. We continue with the football previews now, and it's the dawn of a new era at Smithsburg High School. For just the 4th time in school history and just the first time since 1997, the Leopard football team has a new head coach. Steve Lindsay, formerly a head varsity coach at both Thomas Stone and Duval High Schools, and for the past 7 years, the head JV coach at Smithsburg, takes over for the retired Buddy Orndorff. After the Leopards managed just a single victory a year ago, Lindsay is well aware that there's plenty of room for improvement, and he's banking that it starts inside the helmet.
We're just trying to instill intensity on every play, every snap of the ball. We're just trying to instill the habit of intensity, getting after it every single play, not taking a play off. That requires us to be in great shape. So emphasis is on conditioning and mental toughness, and that's where we're headed.
What are your expectations of the team this season?
Well, we just want to be the best we can be. Competition's relative. If we play the Washington Redskins, obviously they're going to beat us. But the thing I'm looking for is our guys fighting their hardest on every play and reaching their maximum potential. That's really what we're after.
And at Smithsburg, obviously, there's a long legacy of football here. I mean, all you have to do is look at the scoreboard over there and you see those state championships. But, starting where you are with this group this season, what do you like about what you've seen from these guys so far?
Well, so far they have a real positive attitude. Good attitude so far, enthusiastic, upbeat, and guys that are willing to work and sacrifice, and that's what you need to be successful. So far it's been smooth.
No question, it's been a rough go recently at the home of the purple and gold. Smithsburg hasn't had a winning season since 2010. The Leopards are combined 8-22 the last 3 years, and while those numbers sound very negative, Coach, how do they actually play, or could they play, a positive role for a new head coach?
Well, yeah, number one, you're coming in and you're setting up your program, so you're not following in something when you're going to have somebody say, well, we did it this way and we were successful. He should be able to get the support of the team as well as the community, and the fact that he's doing something his way, and they should see that and they should support him there. So the fact that you've won or the fact that you've lost is sort of an outside thing. What he really has to do is get the kids focused in on what he's doing and working with the JV team. He's got those players coming up to the varsity that have already worked with him, which I think is a major accomplishment and will work in his favor as he goes on.
Yeah, Lindsey's Leopards kick off the new campaign Friday night with many of those faces that he knows at home against a Northern Garrett team that eked out a 7-6 victory over Smithsburg in the 2013 season opener. Now, while Lindsey's transition with the Leopards was a smooth one that started way back in April, at North Hagerstown, it's been a completely different story. In fact, the Hubs' first practice on August 13th, there was no head coach there. After 13 seasons of guiding North and becoming the football program's all-time winningest coach, Dan Cunningham landed the Williamsport athletic director's job just 7 days before that after a long, drawn-out hiring process. That left the Hubs scrambling to fill the void on their sideline. On August 14th, North Hagerstown grad and the Hubs line coach for the last 6 years, Greg Staines, was named to succeed Cunningham. Staines recounts that wacky whirlwind of an 8-day period for North football.
Well, it's been a process. We started actually preparing for Danny to leave back in early July. We knew he was interviewing for the job at that point in time, and based on his qualifications, we kind of assumed he was going to get the position. So Juwan Sandridge and myself, the offensive coordinator, started sitting down and doing some preparation and planning for the season. That way, if they hired another coach that wasn't within our organization, we'd at least have some things in ground and ready to go for the next season. It's been a training process for all of us. I'm a line coach. I'm used to dealing with the line. I'm not used to dealing with backs and preparation. It's just thank goodness I have some quality good coaches to go with me, and it's been a blessing to have them on staff to help with this transition.
The group that you have this year, what do you like about these guys?
It's building a team. We don't put each other down. We build each other up. They've been responding to what the coaches have given them. The direction that we're going is a positive direction. We have 4 coaches in the building right now, so that point is being emphasized even when we're in school, that we stay positive, we stay focused, and we're building a team. It's a family, and that's the kind of atmosphere that we're trying to create.
Clearly, one of the easy things to do is to look at the North Hagerstown schedule for this year, and it appears to be fairly daunting, especially at the beginning of the year. So what's that like for a brand new head coach when you look at that and see what's ahead of you, especially to begin the season?
That's a definite test. When you start off the season with the schedule that we do, it's a test. It'll test the character of these kids to see what they're made of. I look for us to be competitive, and that's what we're looking at week to week, is the improving of each week and each game we play. It is daunting. It is, but we can't look at the schedule. We got to play week to week and just go at it and just try to improve each week. And I think we will surprise some people.
And what do you feel will be the key to the success of this team? What does this team have to do in order to be successful this season?
Stay as a team. The unity that we're trying to build, it needs to be in place. You have to rely on each other. You have to catch each other's back and protect each other. And I think that'll get us through any adversity that we have to face. We started off the season with adversity, and these guys have responded in a positive manner, and we just got to continue with that.
Coach Staines will employ the family affair approach with the Hubs, and he's surrounded himself with quality coaches. North was a Week 7 loss to Catoctin a season ago, away from contending for a playoff spot. The Hubs ended up 6-4 overall and were 3rd in the county in average points scored and allowed per game. Now, getting results is big at North, but aside from those, Coach, what other criteria should be used to evaluate a brand new head coach?
Well, I think any head coach that is out there will tell you that the most important thing to his program is the success of the individual student. And that doesn't necessarily mean on the field. That means in the classroom. That means in the community. And the fact that he has had a chance to be on the North staff for a period of time, He knows the individuals that are there. He's working in the school. He knows them. And his job is to make sure that they are upstanding citizens in the school, in the community, and they go out on the field and they perform with a lot of sportsmanship and excellence in that particular area that they're working in. So that's how you evaluate a coach, is to the end product, not the points on the board or the wins or losses, but the individuals that are in the program and those individuals coming out of that program.
That's why just anybody can't be a head coach. Boy, there are a lot of intangibles that go along with fostering that type of atmosphere and those type of people coming out of your program. Staines won't exactly get to ease into it. North faces 4 straight playoff teams from a season ago to start the year, beginning with Milford Mill Friday night at Mike Callis Stadium. Congratulations to coaches Lindsey and Staines on their new gigs. From the fresh faces of the county coaching ranks to the veteran grills you've come to know, and we'd be incomplete without them, their respective moneymakers show up right here next.
For over 25 years, Tony's Pizzeria has been serving authentic Italian cuisine. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop by today and enjoy one of their many house favorites, made fresh from scratch daily, in the newly expanded and remodeled dining area. Serving a full liquor bar, beer, and wine, Tony's 50-person banquet room is perfect for your next celebration. Dine in, take out, or delivery. Come see what's new at Tony's Pizzeria Restaurant and Grill, 10 East Salisbury Street in Williamsport.
Everyone likes the best parts. The heart-stopping drop. The epic guitar solo. The scenes that go. And all the big plays. Live on Sunday afternoons. Get every touchdown from every game with NFL Red Zone from NFL Network.
Call Antietam Cable now at 301-797-5000. Get NFL Red Zone activated instantly if you have an Antietam digital box. 301-797-5000. Welcome back to the show. Our football previews continue now, and after raising the optimism bar at Clear Spring with his team winning half its games in 2009 for the first time, and then following that up by posting 6 W's in 2010 and vying for the Blazers' first ever playoff berth, head coach Craig Bathgate has seen injuries get in the way of getting to the next level. Now, as he embarks on his 8th year with Clear Spring, his best bet to carry him there, 6'5", 235-pound junior Joey Fisher, will be standing on the sideline with him, recovering from shoulder surgery. But that doesn't mean Bathgate is succumbing to deja vu. In fact, his outlook is just the opposite.
We're excited to get out there. We've got more athletes in skill positions than we've had in years past. We've got some guys that have been eager since last year. Last year was a little disappointing, and looking to get back out and set a new trend for this year.
What will determine how successful this team is this year? I know when numbers aren't great, injuries certainly come into play, but how about the things that you can control?
Yeah, right now we're at the point where we want wins. We've been around long enough. We're getting big enough, strong enough to play with these teams. Health-wise, we stay healthy. We feel we can win with a lot of the teams on our schedule, and hopefully it'll play out that way.
As far as you're concerned, what are your expectations for the team this year? Have you talked to them about goals?
We do. We don't set lofty ones, but we know where we want to be at the end of the season. And
you're not going to tell us?
No. Too many people use that against me.
The old bulletin board material.
Yeah, we're looking for the best season we've had yet. That's what we're looking for.
Well, let's see. Not lofty goals, just merely the best season they've had yet. Is that a contradiction in terms? Let's see. 9 total victories the last 3 years. 2010 now becoming a more and more distant memory. Coach, is this the right time to challenge a team?
Well, I think you have to challenge your team, and that's a good choice of words there. And you tell them that you want to go out and you want to succeed, and by succeeding that means that we now are going to go out and we're going to win some ball games. And to say you want to have the best season, I think every team that is out there right now is saying not only do they want to have their best season, but they're going to the state championship. There should be 75 state championship games according to the teams that are out there. So yeah, you've got to challenge them. You've got to expect them to step up. Now it's no longer we're taking baby steps. Now you're going to walk, and from the walk, and we're going to run, and we're going to win ball games, and we're going to do better than we did before.
And if you know where you want to be at the end of the season, as everybody does, as you said. They know where they want to be. Getting off to a good start certainly won't hurt, and the Blazers host St. James in their opener on Friday night. Now, the last Friday night that South Hagerstown played was an historic one. The Rebels played in just the school's third postseason game in its 57-year history, and their first since 2002. While the result wasn't what they wanted, South keeps improving every year under reigning Inside Sports Coach of the Year Toby Peer. As Peer prepares for his 5th season at South, he also prepares for perhaps his toughest task yet, finding a way to minimize the effects of the graduation of record-setting running back and 2-time Inside Sports Offensive Player of the Year, Isaiah Smith, although he has a mathematical game plan.
Well, we have 4 running backs we're going to rotate. We've told them all that they are certainly 25% of Isaiah Smith, and that we're going to try to play them as close to equal as possible, and they'll all together equal 100% of Isaiah the best they can. And we feel good about our plan. Each kid individually is doing a great job. They're understanding the offense, they're growing in the offense, and it's not too much for them to handle. They'll probably be very active on the defensive side, and then they'll come over and rotate offensively. So it'll be about committee style this year instead of just one person like Isaiah. We certainly miss him.
What will it be like this season? What's it been like so far with your son as quarterback?
Well, he and I have prepared for this moment for years. People have to understand, when he was 6 years old, he was in his daddy's basement watching film, and he's put in a lot of work that no one knows about. And so it's a great opportunity for he and I to bond, and to I can be part of his game of football, and he can be a part of my game of football. It's always difficult from an outsider's perspective when your son is playing from you. They don't quite always understand, but you know, it's been great. It's been a great father-son experience for us, and we just hope it continues through the next 2 years.
And he's looking forward to coaching the collective group, whom he offered the highest of praise.
In the off-season, we would declare them as the hardest working team we've had in the off-season going into this season. And as a team, they are the strongest team that we've had overall.
This is your 5th year now at South Hagerstown. What have you learned about the 3A West region, especially given the fact that you were in the playoffs last year?
Yeah. Well, the 3A West region is very difficult. Just to get into the playoffs is tough. Damascus and Seneca Valley seem to always find a way to get in, and then you have another 6-7 schools that are pretty good fighting for 2 spots. So we would love to get some relief from the powers to be at the state level and the MVAL and people like that. We would like for them to focus on how to give a little relief to the 3A teams. The single A and the double A teams can go 6-4 traditionally, 7-3 traditionally, and get into the playoffs. But if you're a 3A West team, it takes 8-2, 9-1 to get in every single year. It's like the SEC, and we just don't want to be Vanderbilt of the SEC, if you know what I mean.
It does appear that those who can will make a favorable change and offer some relief starting next season for schools in the MVAL relative to accumulating playoff points by having schools play more schools in their own classification who can provide more of them. But as for getting there this year, it's a whole new situation at South. And Coach, you've been there before. What's the biggest thing you learned from going to the playoffs one season and then the next year, blam, you're back on the level playing field with everybody else starting 0-0?
Well, what you learn from a coaching standpoint is that you have to work that much harder because you were there one time, and once you get that taste of it in your mouth, you want to have it again. The kids are always new kids that are coming in, and so those sophomores coming up that are juniors and those juniors that are moving on to become seniors now, they always want to have that playoff as a goal that they're reaching for. So from the coaching standpoint, you've been there, you know what you have to do, you have to work hard, you have to instill in your players the fact that it just doesn't happen because you're saying it and it just doesn't happen because you were there before. People are not going to roll over for you. As a matter of fact, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to have a target on your back, and you're going to have to work that much harder to reach those goals that team before you reach. So that's what you have to do. You have to go out and you have to work very, very hard, which I'm sure they've done already in the preseason. And once the season begins, you have to do it every day, every week, and get better and better and better.
Boy, a lot of focus and a lot of attention to detail along the way, too. Southwick Junior TJ Pure at quarterback seeks its 6th straight season-opening victory Friday night at Century. When it comes to models of consistency, look no further than the Boonesboro Warriors. From Clayton Anders readying for his 30th year as head coach to his teams who have played in the postseason in 7 of the last 9, the Warriors have set their own standard. And even with the class jump in 2A last year, they were one of 4 county schools to own a winning record, which could have been considered a victory in and of itself. A lot of that had to do with Boonesboro prevailing in 4 of its first 5 games, and starting strong is something Coach Anders feels pays even bigger dividends for a number of reasons.
Well, I think it helps all high school teams to get some success early because, you know, the mental part can't be underestimated. When you drop a couple ball games in a row, that hangs on those kids, it hangs on the coaching staff, and you start doubting, you know, are we doing the right thing? Do we have the right people in the right places? Whatever it might be. So success always gives you a little confidence in that, hey, we have been preparing correctly and what we're doing does work, et cetera. So, you know, we need to, you know, you hate to get to the 500 or the middle of your season and be like 1-4 because you can still scratch out a winning season, but it's hard to make, you know, that's pretty tough for anybody.
From an expectation standpoint, you know, where do things sit there in your mind as far as expectations are concerned?
Well, we try to coach from a positive viewpoint in that, you know, we tell the kids we expect to win. We, you know, as opposed to, you know, telling a bunch of kids, well, I think we'll be 500. Well, you know, it's like in a classroom. You tell your kids you all are just average. Well, that's what they're going to perform to. So we tell them, hey, this is what we expect to do, but you got to understand it takes everything we've got to get there.
What will it take for this group to be successful this season?
We say this all the time, but we need to stay healthy because our numbers aren't great. So, you know, we definitely need to stay as healthy as possible, and we've got to play well. We're not nearly good enough to have a bad outing and think that we're going to be okay. We're going to have to play at a high level of efficiency on offense. We're going to have to be really, good on our kicking game, not have breakdowns, win some games there, and we're going to have to be sound defensively.
It's a young team and a revamped coaching staff for the county's longest tenured coach. Having just 14 seniors will present a challenge, but you know in your heart of hearts that he's made that situation work before. I ain't saying he's a gold digger. Anders has just learned where to go looking for that gold in the 3 decades that he spent as head coach at Boonesboro, which happens to be more than twice as much time as the county's other 7 head coaches have to their names combined. So, Coach, what type of edge does that give him, all of that experience? What advantage does that afford Coach Anders?
Well, the advantage that he has is that he's probably seen just about everything that you could possibly see. And he has probably experienced just about everything that you can experience. So, when a situation presents itself and when that first time situation comes up as a new coach and you're faced with it and you've got to make that split-second decision, the fact that he's been there before, it's not something that is new, and he's going to just say, what am I going to do? He's been there. He knows what to do. The record speaks for itself on that, and that, I think, is the biggest advantage that you have going in the fact that I've seen this before. Don't panic. Yeah. We're going to be okay. This is what we're going to do. Just relax.
Yeah, sort of like a NASCAR crew chief going back to his notes from the last time that they raced at a particular track. The Warriors opened Friday night at Walkersville against a Lions team that managed just 2 wins a year ago. Best of luck to all of our county football teams, and their respective fates and fortunes will be documented right here, and over the next 10 weeks, we hope to be amazed by them. Coach, until week 4, live your life, but then it's going to be you, it's going to be me, and it's going to be Boonesboro and Williamsport. The first of 3 games we'll be calling together on Antietam Cable this season.
I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good year.
Probably the next time that I wear a tie, by the way. It was fun to have you here today. I look forward to seeing you then because, in the words of Kelly Clarkson, my life would suck without you. Going too far again, I know. Cue the music. I'm coming back with previews of the last two fall sports in which Washington County brought home state titles right after this.
One, wanna be one, number one, it's gotta be fun. One, wanna be one, number one, it's gotta be fun. Punch it, kick it, giving it all. Premier martial arts helps take it to the top, y'all. Jab, cross, hook, kick, you feel it when we stick it. Wanna be one, winner, yeah, I won. I'm premier, number one. Wanna be number one, kids? Have your parents call.
For over 25 years, Tony's Pizzeria has been serving authentic Italian cuisine. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop by today and enjoy one of their many house favorites, made fresh from scratch daily, in the newly expanded and remodeled dining area. Serving a full liquor bar, beer and wine, Tony's 50-person banquet room is perfect for your next celebration. Dine in, take out, or delivery. Come see what's new at Tony's Pizzeria Restaurant and Grill, 10 East Salisbury Street in Williamsport.
Sometimes your whole season comes down to 15 seconds and you don't get a second shot. So let Keystone Sporting Goods keep you and your equipment spot on. Their full-service archery pro shop works on any bow or crossbow, even if you didn't buy it from them. Keystone carries the best brands of bows and crossbows, plus a large selection of long guns, handguns, and black powder. Plus, Keystone's indoor archery shooting range allows you to try it before you buy it. Let the pros from Keystone Sporting Goods get you and your equipment ready for whatever walks through your sights. Visit Keystone on Pennsylvania Avenue today because your season depends on it.
Welcome back to the Inside Sports Fall Preview Edition. The only sport in the county last fall to produce a state champion was cross country. While the cross country landscape has tilted decidedly toward the southern part of the county for a while now, it shifted completely a year ago. Boonesboro's girls claimed their third straight county title, and the boys captured their first in 28 years to complete the rare sweep. Competing in the larger 2A ranks for the first time at states, the Warrior boys placed a very respectable 8th, while the girls came in 7th as a team. Four-time Inside Sports Coach of the Year Becky Walter returns a dynamic duo whose individual achievements last November in Westminster produced the defending 2A state champ and perhaps one in the making.
Well, the girls are led by Megan Grams and Haley Wright, which are going to be tough to beat. So they definitely kind of lead the way, provide a lot of leadership along the way. We also have Ella Hawkins back, so our top three of our top 4 girls from last year are back. I think they were between the 3 of them, I think they were probably top 4 or top 5 in the county. We've got a lot of young kids, a lot of freshmen and sophomores coming out for the first time, and they are really stepping up and amazing me more and more every day.
It really is when you say the word amazing. I think Megan Grams and Haley Wright. Do we even know what we truly have with those two in the county from the standpoint of them being history makers in a lot of ways?
No, I don't think we do, and I don't think they're done proving us wrong. I mean, in outdoor track last year, Megan broke the county record in the 800-mile, 2-mile, and was part of the 4x4 and 4x8 county record teams. She was ranked in the top 30 maybe in the country in the mile. And as a junior, that's even more impressive because a lot of those upperclassmen, those seniors, graduated. Haley, what she's running as a sophomore last year, it just blows me away. And what's really shocking is they came in the first day of practice for our time trial and were both over a minute faster than what they ran for last year's time trial.
Wow. Man, oh man. Well, if that's any indication of what the season holds, it should be pretty incredible for the Boonesboro girls. Boonesboro boys, talk a little bit about them.
Boys, we lost a lot of our varsity runners from last year. We do have Brandon Turnball, Michael Bear, and Ethan Connolly back, and I think they'll be 3 of the top boys in the county. But we did lose a lot of the seniors that provided great leadership. But these guys are doing awesome. They're working hard. Nathan Johnson is impressing, Gunnar Ingram, Jacob Zielinski, Bryce Rogers. There's so many boys that are just vying for those varsity spots that I think there's going to be a lot of shuffling around, and they're just going to push each other more and more every day.
Well, you throw out some names there. How about some other names from other schools in the county that you expect to hear from during the cross-country season?
Well, South is definitely has the top guy to beat. Darren Harmon is looking really impressive. I've seen some great times from him from the Crumpies 5K and Gary Brown. I think he's the top guy in the county. I know Smithsburg has some top guys up there. Williamsport has some guys, Brandon Racine. There's a lot of guys around the county that I think Darren's number 1 hands down right now, but I think the next few spots are definitely up for grabs.
last year when it came to counties with the girls, we saw, a Smithsburg team that ultimately wound up going to states for 1As. Also, the North Hagerstown girls team went to states. How do you see that shaping up? Clearly, Boonesboro seems to be head and shoulders above the crowd so far as certainly the two top runners, but who else will work into that mix?
Smithsburg had a lot of really good underclassmen last year that are all returning, and I think that's going to carry them this year. I know they have a freshman in that's looking pretty impressive. So I think they're going to be right up there. They probably look really great for one of the top teams in 1A. North lost Emily Ward. I'm not really sure what else they have after her because I believe Brittany Appleby also graduated. So I'm not really sure what they or South have or some of the other schools, but I know Clear Spring has some girls out that are working hard. So I think it'll be pretty good all around in the county.
When it comes to looking to the next level beyond the county, obviously, Megan Graham's the reigning and defending champion in 2A. What's it been like, working with her, as this season unfolds? I mean, we've talked about, some of the times that she's put up, but what do you see from her mentally?
She's definitely matured, and she has a lot more confidence in herself. She and Haley both, they kind of know what to expect. They know what to do. They don't get fearful of anything. They'll do whatever we throw at them. It's pretty impressive, and I think both of them have a pretty good shot at qualifying for nationals, for either the Nike Nationals or the Foot Locker Nationals. They both competed in outdoor nationals on the distance medley relay team that finished second overall. So they're doing awesome in the county, but they're doing awesome nationally.
Yeah, it's just amazing to think how those numbers translate to the national scene. Coach, thank you very much for your time and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Walters teams will see their first competition of the season Saturday morning in Clear Spring at the 22nd Annual Interstate Classic, where, oh, by the way, Graham's set a new course record a year ago. In volleyball, after the county made history going 3 for 3 at the state tournament in 2012, winning titles in 1A, 2A, and 3A, the three-peat repeat never materialized in 2013. In fact, last year turned out to be the first since 2008 that the county didn't capture a region championship and advance a representative to the state stage, on which it's been so successful. In 1A, Smithsburg's string of 4 consecutive state championships ended in the West Region final in the 5th set at eventual state titleist Fort Hill, a loss that, according to coach Rachel Brashear, almost immediately became the Leopards' source of motivation for this coming season.
And in years past, when we had won, we won 4 years in a row, the girls kind of came in, I don't want to say expecting to win, but they never really had that unfinished business feeling. And that loss has resonated with these girls since November of last year. And the energy in our gym is electric. They really feel like they're out for a mission. They want to prove themselves. And, it's been a lot of fun so far.
And with this particular group and what you're seeing, what are you most interested to learn about them as this season goes along?
How they progress. I have 4 junior hitters that are returning as sophomores who played more of a role-playing role next year that have to step into a leadership role. They need to demand the ball. I have 2 senior hitters that I'm looking for some production out of as well. And I have a freshman hitter coming in that I'd love to see how she progresses throughout the season. But I think this year we're going to be a pretty balanced attack, where in years past we've relied on the Sarah Rochelle's and the Danielle Harbaughs and the Amanda Snowdens of the world. This year I think that we're going to be a little more balanced when it comes to our offense. So I'd really like to see how that plays out and how our setter Peyton, how she distributes the ball. So I'm excited to see that.
In your estimation, were the expectations for Washington County just off the charts? I mean, based on what had happened in 2012 last season?
I think so, but I think that's the expectation that we've set for ourselves, and the coaching staff, the coaches across the county, they expect a lot from their girls. We have a rich tradition within North High, Williamsport, Smithsburg, Clear Spring. We have a lot of state championships in volleyball, and I think that we set the bar high, and I think that, the community sets the bar high, but that's where we want the bar. We want the bar high, and we want to achieve,
Yeah, when you consider that the state championships in 1A, 2A, and 3A all came from the West region in the end, that still speaks pretty highly of volleyball, especially in this part of the state.
The West is great for volleyball. Okay. Absolutely.
And that's a statement Williamsport has certainly helped to validate. The Wildcats' 13 state titles are second all-time to Centennial's 14, and Coach Emily Crabtree has guided Williamsport teams to 4 of those. Her 2014 Wildcats are going to have to dig deep to compete in 2A, but she says they're approaching it the right way.
I definitely have a hard-working group this year. We are going to be a defensive team. We don't have a big girl, so to speak. So our little girls are going to have to work extra hard, to get their hands above the net, to get touches. To get touches like that on the ball. They'll rise to the occasion. We'll play hard every match.
You had 8 seniors on the team last year, not nearly that many this year. So what will the on-the-job training take for these younger kids coming in and moving up to the varsity level?
Well, they were around the 8 seniors last year. Some of them, I have 3 seniors this year, 4 returning players, and they played with those girls. They know what it's all about. They got a lot of experience from playing with them, so I think it'll carry over to this year. Again, experience is always a positive thing, and we're lacking a little bit of that this year, but we'll make up for it with our hard work.
Do you feel that there's any type of pressure, again, associated with those expectations?
Oh, yeah. Williamsport High School volleyball has, traditionally been, in the mix in the playoff when it comes playoff time. So, they know that. Bullseye's always on our back, and teams are always out to get us. And when they beat Williamsport, it's, a notch in their belt. So, it's tough at times, but hopefully we can handle it.
What's it going to take for this group to be successful this season as far as you're concerned, and what your expectations are of them?
Well, I think we need to build on the little things. I think, we have to build on our small successes that'll turn into bigger things. So just, every match is a learning experience. Hopefully the girls will learn from whatever happens, win or lose, and, take that along with them.
While Williamsport will be busy learning, North Hagerstown has been teaching the last couple of years in the Antietam Conference and the county. The 2-time defending champs have made unblemished runs through both the last 2 years. And 2013 Inside Sports Coach of the Year Megan Crawford provides no reason to think things are about to change in 2014.
We have 5 seniors. They've been, taking charge, leading the younger girls. We have a new setter. We lost Sarah Bentley. Tana McKenzie's coming in. Hasn't set since her freshman year. She's really taken that role. She's going to be a big part of the team this year in our success.
What is the mindset of the girls, and what have you noticed from them to this point?
Okay. A lot of them were there, a couple of them were there to win that state championship, and, they know that they want to get, back there. The feeling of it, I think we had 4 or 5 girls that were there a couple years ago, and so unfortunately we didn't make it there last year, and so they have, they want it back. So we're not talking about it or anything like that, but they're working hard, and they know the overall goal without us having to, talk about it all the time. So they're ready to play. They're working hard, and we'll, one game at a time. And so hopefully, we'll be playing our best ball at the end of the season.
And Crawford knows a fully healthy 2013 Player of the Year candidate, Zoe Schreiber, can only help the cause of getting the Hubs back to the top of the 3A mountain. North lost just 3 times last season, but the one that cost them came in the region final to eventual state champion Damascus. And the county just might be even more competitive than ever this year, with Boonesboro coming off a 10-win season and returning senior middle hitter Taylor Williams, and Clear Spring welcoming back 6 starters from a squad that scratched out 9 W's in 2013. Heritage continues to look like the class of the private schools. The Eagles finished 17-2 last year and as runners-up in the MDCC and the Maryland Christian State Tournament. Grace tried but couldn't get over the Heritage hump in 2013. 3 of the Knights' 5 losses in their 15-5 campaign came at the hands of Heritage. And with that, cross country and volleyball are accounted for. Up next, our soccer and golf look-aheads right after this.
Since 1963, you've been trusting the folks at Hagerstown Floors. It's still a family-owned and operated business featuring a variety of high-quality flooring choices for your home, like carpet, ceramic, hardwood, vinyl, and we offer floor sanding and refinishing for your existing hardwoods. And you'll find us stocked warehouse, full of flooring options for do-it-yourselfers, or take advantage of our in-house installers for expert installation. Hagerstown Floors on Virginia Avenue in Hagerstown, the trusted name in flooring since 1963.
After providing quality service and price for over 32 years here, Battery Warehouse has moved to its new and improved location here. As always, whatever it is you own that needs a battery, bring it to us at Battery Warehouse because we have the battery you need for it. Don't waste time and money going elsewhere when Battery Warehouse is #1 in quality, service, and price. Plus, we'll install your battery for free on nearly all vehicles. For all your battery needs, visit the new and improved Battery Warehouse on Pennsylvania Avenue in Hagerstown and get $5 off any purchase of $30 or more.
Welcome back to the Fall Preview Show. In girls soccer, 2 of the county's top 3 teams from a season ago get set for this one with new head coaches on the bench. Defending MVAL Antietam champion Boonesboro, who won 9 games overall despite scoring just 20 goals, welcomes Greg Kane as its new head coach. Kane replaces Chris Lance, who stepped down to spend more time with his family. Boonesboro won 3 conference titles and 2 county tournament championships in Lance's 4 years with the Warriors. In 4 years under Tim Salvagno, Williamsport notched 45 victories and went 11-5-1 and captured the county tourney crown last season. Salvagno left after the year because of mounting work responsibilities and was succeeded by former Shepherd University and Hood College head coach Jen Wood. Wood had been away from coaching since 2008, but didn't wait long when she was hired last winter to jump right back in and get to work.
I've been with them since December. We've been playing indoor and also summer leagues, so the transition has been pretty good. Everything's going smooth so far.
Obviously, there's been a lot of success here at Williamsport the last several years, and you inherit a pretty good group here. Tell me about the girls and what you found out about them so far.
I couldn't ask for a better bunch of girls coming in. I have a great group of seniors. Underclassmen is really strong. The JV, we're looking at it as one program. We're just going to keep building from JV, and I'm really excited about this year, about what we got coming up.
What are your sights set on here? I know the season hasn't even begun yet, but can you tell me a little bit about what you're thinking from a goal standpoint?
I think we have, we're looking down the road. We're looking to see how far we can go, and I know last year they, fell short, and we're going to look to go as far as we can this year. Don't want to release too much, but I think it's going to be good.
Okay, we can keep that under wraps. But what will it take for this team to be successful? Give me a key or two.
A lot of communication, a lot of team bonding, and trust. I think that's the biggest thing. Is that if somebody gets down, they have to know that they have another 10 players behind them, another 15 players behind them on the bench. So it's going to take just trusting one another to know that if one player is not having a good game, someone else has to step up and do it.
The next step is one Williamsport has been poised to take the last several years, and Coach Wood seems to be intent on plotting, not necessarily divulging, how she and the Wildcats will accomplish that this year. As Smithsburg found out in 2013, getting to where you want to be is one thing, but securing what you want once you make it there can be quite another. The Leopards weathered a storm of injuries during last year's regular season and then got hot and healthy in time for the postseason. There, Smithsburg posted 4 consecutive shutouts and then led Sparrows Point 1-0 with just over 30 minutes separating them from a state championship when it all slipped away. According to the 2013 Inside Sports Girls Soccer Coach of the Year, Victor Delamea, that 2-1 loss has left a bitter taste in the mouths of the senior-laden team, ready and raring to trade last season's heartbreak for the chance to create this season's happy ending.
The group this year, they're blessed with the experience of making that championship run. Came up a little short, but they important life lessons and soccer lessons learned throughout that process. This year's group with 11 seniors, we have a lot of leadership and a lot of girls. They know what to do, what needs to be done at this point, and hopefully they can carry that onto the field and have a successful season.
How much do you talk about where you would like to be when the season comes to an end, when the season hasn't even begun yet?
It's a constant thing that you talk to the girls. It's a running dialogue from the end of the last season to the beginning of the next season. With an older group, there's self-driving that they have that they don't need to be spoken to quite as much as a young team. But we constantly have communications. You have to create those relationships with the players. And then with those relationships, they feel comfortable, and when they're comfortable, they play the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Do you feel like you have some momentum from last season that can carry over to this season? Do you believe in that at all?
I don't necessarily trust the momentum going forward because that's a tricky thing that can go either way. The potential is the more important thing, that the girls understand the potential's there, and no one can realize that potential but themselves, and that's the more important thing than, to me, than momentum, is the potential for being a great team, and this team has that potential.
And what will have to happen for this team to be successful and to meet that potential this season?
Seriously, I think they need to take it one game at a time and treat it as a one-game season each time and play the next game as hard as possible. That's one thing I got from the championship run with the Seahawks, was a great saying that I borrowed from them, is just take it one game at a time, win that one game, and you got a one-game winning streak throughout the whole season. And if you continue to have a one-game winning streak throughout the season, then you're going to be a championship team at the end.
And the road to the first championship of the new year begins on Saturday at Boonesboro. The first round of the 16th annual Washington County Public Schools Girls Soccer Tournament pits 2013 runners-up Smithsburg against Clear Spring in the lid lifter at 10 a.m., followed by defending champion Williamsport versus South Hagerstown at noon, and then Boonesboro faces North Hagerstown at 2. Hancock will not compete in the tourney this year, and yes, you heard it right. The tournament finally steps out of the long shadows cast by football's Friday night lights and gets a well-deserved day all to itself. We'll call it Soccer Saturday. And while we're at it, the first round of the boys' tourney will also be played. Those matches take place at South Hagerstown School Stadium. Clear Spring and Smithsburg lead off at 4, with North Hagerstown and last year's runners-up Boonesboro kicking off next at 6, before defending champion Williamsport battles the hosts from South at 8. Incidentally, the semifinals will be contested a week from Saturday, with the girls playing at Clear Spring and the boys facing off at Williamsport. The championship finals will then be held Saturday the 20th at North Hagerstown. As mentioned, like the girls, the Williamsport boys prevailed in last year's title game, one of the Wildcats County Public School leading 12 wins in 2013. Also like the Lady Wildcats, the guys start the new season with a new head coach. Gone after 6 successful seasons during which his teams averaged double-digit victories is the reigning Inside Sports Boys Coach of the Year, Chris Downs, to an administrative position. In is former Downs assistant and Williamsport grad Matt Oliver, who is excited to work with the team he's inherited.
It's actually really cool. This group that is juniors and seniors right now is the first group that I had when I was a JV head coach, when they were freshmen and sophomores. So it's kind of nice. It kind of feels like we didn't really miss a beat. We're kind of back working together again. So that's been a nice, easy transition, knowing all the names, knowing all the faces, knowing the parents and whatnot. So.
And as head coach, what kind of philosophy can we expect from you? Obviously, you know, we've seen what's transpired the last several years. You know, how do you approach this job?
I think from my perspective, you know, working with Coach Downs, we kind of had a nice mix. He was a very defensive-minded coach. Look for the shutout, looking for you know, putting the 0 on the board, and kind of different. I'm a very offensive coach. I was an offensive player, and kind of like the philosophy of, if I can score more goals than you, then we'll win, regardless of how many we put in. So it's kind of nice being able to work with him the last couple years and kind of learn from him some defensive stuff, and then bringing my offensive knowledge to the game then as well. So it's been nice to learn from him, but then also bring my stuff in as well. So.
Last year, a real senior-dominated team here at Williamsport, not so much this year. So what's the strength of this team as you see it right now?
I think the big strength for us right now is, you know, we lost 13 seniors, obviously. I think we'll be one solid unit this year, though. I think we're not going to have that standout 1, 2, 3 players we've had in the past that'll just kind of take a game over, but more be a unit of 11 that are kind of working together to take a game over that way. So whereas it's, you know, every person working together to you know, put the ball in the back of the net and to keep it out. We have fresh faces at every single position on the field, and I told them, I said, hey, we have a young group here, but a young group that's willing to work and willing to learn, and the goals don't change. The goal stays the same, and that we have that county title to defend.
A head coach who knows all about how difficult it can be to do just that is Clear Spring's Lynn Mills. As the defending champs a year ago, Mills Blazers were upset in the first round by South Hagerstown. Now, 2 years removed from guiding Clear Spring to its first county title ever, he's just hoping that this year's opening game can provide his underclassmen-heavy team with a dose of confidence that will carry them forward.
This year's team has got a lot of talent, but they're really young, really small. We lost 13 seniors. We currently only have 4 seniors, and only one of those seniors has played at any kind of varsity level at all. So we're really going to be banking on the younger guys and working with them. We brought in 10 freshmen, and the majority of those are actually really good ball players and have some experience playing. So looking forward to down the road as well.
I always talk about, public high school sports being so cyclical, and as you were sort of alluding to, this is kind of a rebuilding season at Clear Spring where, patience probably comes into play a little bit. So from a coaching standpoint, what are the challenges for you?
One of the biggest challenges will be, with the group of kids, if we do start out slow or have a couple bumps in the road, making them realize that, we're as a team, we're playing as a team. We just try to stay competitive and stay in every game. Working with some of the kids that have never played before is a real big challenge. It'll be interesting.
How important would a good start to the season be for this Clear Spring team?
I think it'd be huge. We opened up with Smithsburg in the first round of the counties, and we've seen them a couple times in Summer League. They are very improved from last year. We're looking forward to that game. I know they are too, and it's probably going to be a good game, and that would be a really big start to things if we could get off with a win there that first night.
Clear Spring was one of just 2 county public school squads to boast a winning record in 2013. And for the second season in a row, the 1A state title went through Clear Spring, who was ousted in the playoffs by eventual champions Brunswick 2 years ago and North Carroll last year. While the county may not have that one dominant team this year, Boonesboro is being touted as a team whose time may have just arrived. The Warriors went 6-12 last season, but returned 9 seniors and a battle-tested goalkeeper who all played for the county championship in 2013. If Boonesboro doesn't step up, things could be wide open, and the county tournament should provide our first indication. Speaking of wide open in golf, the last several years, the case for the county's best player had been shut pretty much before the season even began. Not so this year. St. Maria Goretti senior Nick Steiner appears to be the early leader, but based on their trips to the state tournament last year, North Hagerstown's Kyle Moore and South Hagerstown's Dylan Bickford should be in the discussion, along with promising Boonesboro junior Tyler Olson, whose 2013 9-hole average was very similar. And those are just the proven commodities. New North Hagerstown coach Matt Fortes isn't waiting around, though. He's calling for his team to win districts and get to states, which is, of course, the desired final destination of all county athletes and teams as the 2014 fall season commences. They're set, now you're set, I'm set, so let the games begin. Next week, the first results and highlights of the season to present to you. I'm looking forward to it and to having you back. Man, it's good to be back. See you next time on The Inside.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the streets. Hey, don't complain to mother, they hiding under cover. You gotta get up on your feet. Now I feel it in my bones again. Yeah, feel it, but you're never gonna let it end until you get up.